Hey, it's Whitney, and today's live video is kind of a spur of the moment. I'm not wearing any makeup, my kitchen isn't perfectly clean, but I wanted to make this real, like we're just hanging out together. This is my life. I got a request on my last live video, which was the unboxing of the Farm Fresh to You CSA box, to do a live cooking video because I talked about making this carrot soup that I've been really wanting to create. I got this idea from my friend Rachel Avalon, who is an incredible woman. I'll link to her work down below if you want to check out some of her work. I know I'm not giving you all the details, but she is worth checking out. And she was telling me about this super simple carrot soup that she made with cashews, and that just sounded so great. And basically it's just cashews, carrots, and ginger. Super basic. I actually found an official recipe from another friend of mine named Megan, who runs this really great site that I can show you right now called the Academy of Culinary Nutrition. And look at this delicious soup. So super basic. It's not my original recipe, but you can make it along with me. Maybe this will inspire you to try out this recipe. And it's also just a good excuse to do a live video. So welcome to my kitchen today. How are you all doing? I would love to know, for those of you watching live, well, I mean, this actually applies to anybody if you're watching later on and just leaving comments. What is the latest thing that you've made? And how often do you cook for yourself versus going out to eat? So the first step is, I guess I just have to cut up the carrots and put them in this pot. This is like, there's literally 3 steps to this recipe. And again, when this video goes, is posted on my channel, I'll link to the description of it. So just chopping this up. I have a great ceramic knife, by the way. How many of you have used one of these before? They're super sharp. Pretty durable. The last one I had I chipped, but I love these. This is my favorite type of knife to use, and I can link to them in the description if you want to check it out further, if you want to get one for yourself. So I got these carrots that are called Nantes carrots, which I don't know anything about. Perhaps I will look them up while this is cooking on the stove. But they just look like regular carrots to me. And I rinsed them off, and now I'm just chopping this up. The recipe calls for 6 carrots. Does it say what size? It just says 6 carrots sliced into coins. So that's all you really have to do. That's like the most work that you're gonna have to do here. I do recommend soaking your cashews ahead of time, which is also what the recipe calls for. My friend Rachel, who made a similar recipe, said that you don't have to soak your cashews, but I've been soaking mine, and I'll show you that in a moment. My dog Evie also loves carrots, so I also like, when I make recipes like this, I love to save some cooked carrots for her. So just throwing them into my stainless steel pot. And then I'm supposed to use onion, but I don't have any onion today, so I'm just gonna use garlic. This recipe also calls for celery, which I also don't have, so gonna skip that. I'm just gonna do garlic, ginger, cashews, and carrots here. So I always keep my ginger in the freezer so it stays a while. The only problem is that I didn't take it out in advance, so it's not thawed, which might make this a little challenging. Any tips on what to do in that case? I suppose I could just put it in the boiling water, wait till it gets soft, and then chop it up. Maybe that'll work. I also keep my garlic in the fridge, and I'm gonna use 2 pieces of this. You don't have to keep garlic in the refrigerator, but sometimes if I don't use garlic for a while and it sits out, I feel like it goes bad faster, but maybe that's just my imagination. All right, and then I have my soaked cashews. So soaking cashews is great because it kind of removes some of the, I guess they call them enzyme inhibitors, is that the correct term? So it makes it easier to digest, but soaking your cashews or nuts in general is just great because it makes them softer and easier to use in a recipe like this. So you can soak them. They often recommend for 8 hours, but sometimes you can just do it for a few hours. These have been soaking overnight, so they were in the refrigerator, but if it was just going to be for about 8 hours, I would actually just leave this out on my countertop. And these need to be rinsed off. I use a water filter, this guy right here. You may have heard me talk about it before. It's a Berkey water filter. and I love it so much. The only thing that's annoying about it is that it's not connected to the water system, so I have to manually pour water into it multiple times a day. But otherwise, it is phenomenal, and I can link to a video where I've talked about it before, and I think I still have a discount code if you guys want to check it out. But I'm just gonna rinse off my cashews, and I'm not gonna need the cashews for about 20 minutes, so I need to just cook the rest of the ingredients. You chop up the garlic using this fancy device. This is one of my favorite kitchen tools. I'll link to it down below. It is the best garlic press I've ever used, and it also serves as, you can rub your fingers on this when you're done with the garlic and it gets the garlic smell off of your fingers. Did you know that stainless steel can do that? Pretty cool. All right, so let's see. Let me make sure I'm doing this all right. Basically, there's a list of ingredients and it says place all the ingredients except for the cashews in a soup pot. So this could not get any easier. You guys are being very quiet, those of you watching live, so feel free to jump in at any point if you have any comments, questions. I'm still waiting for at least one of you to tell me what recipe you've made lately. It's also possible that YouTube is acting weird today, but I just got a hello. So Faux Turkey just said hi. Remind me of your first name. It's gonna take me a little while, but I do remember your username. So 2 cloves of garlic. My friend Rachel says that she just makes this with cashews, carrots, and ginger. She doesn't use any garlic, but I love garlic, especially in soups. So I'm gonna take Megan's advice and add that in here. Roxanne is here. I just saw another comment. Robert's here. Hello. Thank you all for joining. Amber said she just made rice and chickpea curry for dinner. And Family Peace says, watching after midnight in Scotland. Thank you so much for staying up. I'm making a cashew, carrot, ginger, and garlic soup. Super simple. That garlic's really strong. All right, so here's my frozen ginger. I'm gonna need 1-inch piece. Oh my gosh, it's so frozen. Okay, I can at least get this off, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to cut this very well. Let's see. I have a bunch of different knives. Maybe my serrated knife here. Hi from Mexico, thank you so much. Ooh, I'm making a Beyond Burger for dinner. So Music Lover is your username, and I love the Beyond Burger. So for those of you who don't know about this, the company Beyond Meat makes a amazing vegan burger called the Beyond Burger. And, oh good, okay, so the serrated knife, by the way, works very well for cutting off pieces of frozen ginger, so this is great. I also have the coolest ginger tool. I will link to this in the description too. Where's the other piece? Aha, okay. Check this out, you guys. So if you use ginger a lot, this could actually be used for other tools, I think, but this is like designed just for ginger. And it helps you if you need to grate ginger. You can actually just grate it on here, and then it comes down into this little special section. But one of my favorite parts of this is this simple little gadget, which helps you slice off the skin, for lack of a better word, of ginger so you can use it without. So I'm gonna use this little tool to get off the outside of it before I put it in here. And it seems like my plan is working very well. The recipe doesn't even say that you have to cut the ginger, but I imagine I'm supposed to. So I'm actually gonna try to slice the frozen ginger as well. Okay, so here we are. This is approximately 1-inch piece of ginger. And the cutting board's getting all messy here. Okay, this is nice. Okay, I forgot how quickly ginger kind of thaws. It's not thawed completely, but that's not going to matter because I have to boil it in the soup for a little while. So let me cut it all up. So when I make recipes, there's a couple things to know about me and my process is that I don't get super precise with cutting, so I just kind of like chopped it up. I think this recipe is going to need to be blended anyways. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so since it has to be blended, none of this has to be cut perfectly. So I've just got sliced about 6 carrots, a 1-inch piece of ginger, and 2 cloves of garlic just thrown in here, and then you add enough water to cover the vegetables. How many of you use a water filter? And if you do have a water filter, I'd love to know what brand you use and why. I believe in the video, the recent video, which I'll link to once this video is up, if you check out the video I did about this water filter, I talked a little bit about the benefits of using a high quality water filter. A lot of people use the Brita water filter. And I think a water filter is better than no water filter, but it's a little misleading in terms of its quality. So if you're just using a Brita, I would encourage you to save up your money to get a filter similar to a Berkey, or the Berkey, because I can't say enough about it. Or ask for it as a gift. So if you have a birthday coming up, a holiday, if you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah or any of that later this year, put that on your wish list. It might seem like a silly gift to get, but it makes such a huge difference. Okay, so I'm going to put the carrots, the ginger, and the garlic on the stove and set that to boil. And then I'm going to lower the heat to a simmer and simmer it for about 20 minutes. So I may or may not do this video through that whole 20-minute period. It depends on how interested you guys are and what else I can talk about in the meantime. But the last step of this is just adding in the cashews. So yeah, you need 3/4 of a cup of soaked and drained and rinsed cashews, which I have right here. So I'm just going to start cleaning up. And that's a simple recipe, right? I mean, it takes not very long. How long have I've been recording for 12 minutes, but if I wasn't recording and talking, I probably could have chopped everything up in a couple minutes, put it on the stove, and this could have been done in like 5 minutes, not including the boiling time. And the soaking time of the cashews. But let me check in on some comments that came in. So we have Gwendolyn from Missouri, and Faux Turkey says, I use a Mavea filter. It was given to me, not sure if it's high quality. I will look that up for you right now. The name sounds familiar, but I feel like, yeah, it's basically equivalent to a Brita from my understanding. I don't know that much about the brand, so I'd have to look deeper into it. But I think, again, any water filter is better than no water filter because there's a lot of crazy things in our water system in most cities of the US at least. It really depends on where you live. You can actually do a water test. That's another upcoming video that I have. I was sent this water test system. I'm actually going to take it back to my parents' place next time I go to Massachusetts and test their water out for them. But I had my water tested, let's see, that was in 2014, I think, and I had these amazing people named Ron and Lisa who specialize in helping people understand how to make their home more natural and more eco-friendly, and there's actually a whole video on that if you want to see it. I'll try to remember to put that in the description. They tested my water, I got the results, and they're the ones that recommended that I get the Berkey filter. So actually testing your water is huge to help determine what type of filter to get. Because then you know what things you need to filter out, and it's going to really depend on where you live, it's going to depend on how your home was built, all sorts of different things. So, what else did I want to tell you about? The recipe is over, you guys, so I mean, it's cooking on the stove, but that's how simple it is. So if you came here just to see the video, you're just joining live, you can check out the recording later on. It's so simple. I'll also have a link to the exact recipe that I use in the description, or I should say the recipe that inspired me, because I didn't have all of the ingredients today. I still think it's going to be very good. But now I'm just kind of talking, hanging out with you guys, seeing whatever questions or comments you have. It's wonderful Family Peace Love said there's no fluoride in the water there, which is great. Praise the Masculine said I would love to eat your carrots. That's meant to be a double entendre. You've made me laugh. So I'm looking forward to eating my carrots. Oh, I meant to look up what are Nantes carrots. So that's what I got in my CSA box. Let's see what they are, because they were very specific in that type. Oh, okay, my water's boiling. So let me turn that down, and I need to see if I need to cover this or not. Yes. Where is the cover? There it is. Okay, so you bring your carrots, ginger, and garlic to a boil with some water, and then you cover your pot and let it simmer for 20 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer here. Awesome. And let me check out some of the comments here. Hey, if you want to be weird for your own sake, I appreciate that. Hi, Toya. Thank you so much for watching. Family Peace Love says we have a Brita. Definitely look into it further. The other thing that I found incredibly interesting, coming back to the water filter topic, is that the systems like this system costs, I think, about $200 to $250 for your first initial purchase, which might seem like a lot of money because how much is a Brita? Like $30 or something, right? But if you do the math for how often you need to switch out your Brita filters, it actually becomes more expensive over time to own a Brita than it is to invest in one of these one time. You do need to switch the filters, but the filters I have in here last for years. And they're super high quality. So in addition to saving money over the long term with a system like this, it also filters out so many different chemicals that a Brita filter can't, or any of the comparable ones. So that to me made such of a impact on my mindset, because it's so easy for us to become concerned about making these short-term big investments, but looking at the long-term effect on our health and our budget, if you can justify it in that sense, you're actually making a wiser choice. So I can understand why people buy Brita. I know tons of people that do that. It's convenient, it seems inexpensive, but it really isn't as inexpensive as it seems. What else? Okay, let me go back to the comments here. So Julie says, hi, just joined in. First time on your live feed, thank you. That's so sweet. So if you guys didn't know, I do a live video every Friday around 5 p.m. I start over on the Eco Vegan Gal Facebook page, and then I come over here to the YouTube channel, and every week's different. I don't know what this week's topic's gonna be yet. But yeah, it's just really an opportunity for you to kind of see a video live. Those are super short, so I don't get to engage with you nearly as much as I am today, which is why I'm now trying to do longer videos, give it more time to have conversations with all of you, because part of the fun of being live is getting to know each other and for you to get to know other people. I did a video a few weeks ago about the pig vigil I went to, which is on the channel if you want to see it, and I was recording for I think like 45 minutes, and at a certain point, people were talking to each other in the chat and not to me anymore. So it's kind of fun. Like, you can not just interact with me, but you can interact with each other, which I love. I wanted to point out this cool system I've been using for composting. I got these bags. These are called Bag to Earth. I'll link to them in the description when this video is up. And these are for food waste, and they are a natural compostable paper bags. And so what you do is you put your food waste in them, you seal the bag to keep it odor free, so you kind of roll it up and put a clip on it, and then you put this bag in your compost bin, or you can empty it out. I'm still learning all the specifics, because I think this entire bag will compost itself, so you can just throw this into a compost, but I'm not sure if you could put it in like a compost pile if that's what you use. My current system is I use these bags in my freezer, just because it's definitely odor free when it's in the freezer, and when all of your compost scraps are frozen, they don't start to rot. And then every once in a while when they get full, I empty them into my compost bin, and they get taken out by the service that picks it up. Now, every area is a little bit different in terms of their rules about composting and if you can add this to the waste, the green bins in your town or whatever. But that's been my personal system. What these bags are super designed for is actually sitting on your counter so that the pieces inside it, the scraps inside it, actually start to compost in your kitchen. And then by folding it up and clipping it, you can keep out like bugs and all the smell and all of that. So it really depends on your system, but I really encourage you to compost. I compost all of my food scraps. The other thing that I want to start doing is to take some of my vegetable scraps and start making my own veggie broth. I've been saying that for a long time, and I don't really know what's getting in my way. But if any of you have had experiences with making your own veggie broth, maybe I can use some encouragement because it sounds super simple. Let me check in on some of the comments. Amy says, where did you get these? I'll link to them in the description of this video when it's up. But I got them from the Natural Products Expo. And Robin says, I'd love to save my veggie scraps to make homemade veggie broth. See, you read my mind. We're on the same point. Brooke said, will you be uploading this video? Absolutely. Every video that I do live will be uploaded for anybody to watch whenever they can. Let's see, who else? I think I got all the others. That's good. So I just did a recipe video earlier and I'm waiting. I have another like 14 minutes to go until I can do the next step of this video, which is mainly to talk about making recipes, but it's an opportunity for us to chat live. And let's see. Oh, I was going to look up Nante carrots because that was in my Farm Fresh to You unboxing that I did. If you haven't seen that yet, I unboxed a organic produce delivery, a CSA, from this company called Farm Fresh to You, and that was on Friday in my most recent live video then. So here's what Nante carrots are. I think they're just... Okay, here we go. What is a Nante carrot? They were first described in the 19th century French vegetable seeding catalog this way. They're sweeter and tenderer than other carrots. Interesting, okay. I guess there's all different types of carrots that I've never thought of before. I just think of carrots. You know, I guess like carrots, some of them are thicker or thinner, and then some of them are different colors, but I've never really paid attention to the different varieties. How interesting. You know what would be really fun is to do like a taste test of all different types of produce, like line up all the different types of carrots and try them all, or do that with apples and just really get to know what varieties of each you like. I love that idea. Okay. Make sure everything's simmering properly. I'm gonna like just clean up. I would love for you to be here when I finish this recipe. It's really up to you guys. I feel like it would be unfair if I didn't show you the entire recipe and also didn't let you know what it tastes like. So I'm trying to just burn through the next 12 minutes so that we can get to that point. I also feel tempted to cheat and not cook them as long as they're supposed to cook, but then I wouldn't really be able to give you a full perspective on the recipe. What are your favorite soup recipes? I'd love to know that because I feel like soup is such a simple thing that you can do. You can make a big pot of it and have it for a while. I tend to eat like all soup in one serving. So even when I make like a big pot of like several cups or quarts of soup, I'll pretty much finish that the day that I make it because I love it so much. So I'm just one of those people, I don't know, I go through soup really fast. I'm not someone that's like makes a huge amount and it lasts like a week or two. So I wish I was like that. This carrot soup is probably not going to make many servings. Let me see if they say. That's also something for me. It's like, it says it serves 4, and there's no way there's 4 servings in my like my definition of servings. This is like one big serving for me. This is probably going to be my dinner. So I'm like that. Another funny example is every once in a while I get Daya's mac and cheese. They're boxed mac and cheese. Not very healthy, but it's gluten-free, it's soy-free, it's vegan, and it's so delicious. It's like one of my favorite comfort foods. And I also love it because it's so easy to make. They have 3 different flavors, and my favorite is this one with, they have carrots and peas in it. And so you just like dump the carrots, peas, and pasta into the water. It cooks for like 7 or 8 minutes, and then they have a little squeeze pack of cheese. And you just like pour it over your cheese, and your pasta, and it's very satisfying, but very processed. Anyways, I bring that up because that box mac and cheese, it says that it has like at least 2 servings, maybe 3 or 4. And to me, like that one box is like 1 serving, maybe 1.5 to me. And I always think of that every time I make it. I'm like, who eats a small portion of this? Does that just make me have a really big appetite, or gluttonous? I don't know. Okay, I just missed a bunch of comments on that rant. So let's see here. A lot of people are fans of tomato soup. And Family Peas and Love says red lentils and red onion. That sounds great. Robin says she makes a quinoa veggie soup with roasted cauliflower. Oh, that's so sweet. I thought you were going to say that you bring it to work for your coworkers, but I think you're just saying that you bring it for yourself. Maybe one day you should bring it to and share with everybody. Robin said that she made a tortilla soup that was super good with homemade baked Fritos. Wow, I wish you could make that for me. Julie said potato vegetable soup is a year-found winner in our family. Yum, I love anything with potatoes. Shamsa said pumpkin and carrot soup. Love pumpkin. Brooke is a fan of watercress, spinach, and potato soup, or corn chowder. Oh my gosh, this is making me hungry. Hi Jojo, thanks for joining. We're just talking about soup right now, and I'm waiting for my recipe. 9 minutes, you guys. We're getting close. We're getting close. By the time I finally finish putting everything away, it'll be ready. And it smells so good. It smells extremely garlicky. You know, the funny thing is when a recipe calls for like cloves of garlic, you never, like, what size clove? Because you know when you pick apart garlic, it sometimes has small cloves and big cloves, and I use some pretty big cloves today, so it's going to be very, very garlicky. Some people asked what kind of gadgets do I have. I was talking about my ceramic knife earlier, which I'm going to clean off. The key to knives and getting them to last a long time is to not let them like sit around. So wash them off, clean them, dry them, that's important too. And then this ceramic knife has a little sleeve, which I'm very grateful for after my last one chipped. I think I still have that one in here. I will show you the chip. I was very sad. I think I was cutting a kabocha squash. Here it is. And kabocha squash is very, very hard to cut. So it's a little dirty. But I'll show, see, look at this big chip. I'll still use this every once in a while, but the other one has taken priority. I also have been gifted, I think, all of my nice knives. My sister gave me my most recent ceramic knife for this past Christmas. The knife before that, I think, was a birthday present from Jason Robel. And then my original knife, this guy, who I rarely ever use, sadly, because the ceramic knife has overshadowed it, is this beautiful stainless steel chef's knife. This is a Mac knife, and this is my favorite. This is my first chef's knife, and I got this as a birthday gift from an old boyfriend in like 2000, or maybe it was Christmas. No, I think it was my birthday in 2012. Yeah, so knives are a great gift. I was talking about water filters as gifts, knives as gift, any expensive kitchen equipment. Either save up for it or ask for it as a gift. Robin says, I made a boxed mac and cheese 2 days in a row and added 2 bags of frozen vegetables, and I still ate the whole box. Right? Like, I find serving sizes to be rarely accurate. But I also say that there's something so satisfying about boxed mac and cheese. I don't know what it is. I've been, Daya's boxed mac and cheese right now is my favorite usually. But sometimes I go through phases where I'm really into Annie's gluten-free vegan mac and cheese. Have any of you tried that? That one, the ingredients are actually healthier. They're not as processed as Daya's. It's a lot simpler. There's a shorter ingredient list. There's more whole foods involved. I think they actually have like pumpkin powder in there. And I hated it the first time I tried it. I thought it was so gross. But then I kept trying it. I wanted to like it. And then over time, I love the taste of it. It's very different from Daya. It tastes healthier, but it's very satisfying once you get used to the flavor. I like to mix that Annie's vegan mac and cheese with broccoli. It's really, really good. Berta, thank you so much for joining. I hope all is well with you too. So now, since we're getting close to the time to blend everything together for the soup, I'm pulling out my immersion blender. Oh, butternut mac and cheese. That butternut squash mac and cheese. I've made that before and it was lovely. So this is my immersion blender. How many of you have one of these? Speaking of kitchen gadgets, this is another great investment. Especially if you make soups a lot. Bonnie, sending so much love back to you. Thanks for being here. I actually this is another gift. I would say the great majority of my kitchen gadgets are gifts. Ryan, love the work that you're doing. That's awesome. So this gadget was actually secondhand, passed down from multiple people. So Jason Robel, who's one of my best friends, gave this to me, but it was passed down to him from a friend of his. So this is also kind of like a eco gadget for me because it's kind of been recycled on. I didn't buy it new, which is kind of fun. I actually used to do a lot of my shopping at Goodwill or Salvation Army, especially when I lived in San Francisco. I loved going to Goodwill and Salvation Army and any like secondhand store. There was another one in the Mission District that I went to. I don't remember what it was called, but I would go into these stores like once a week and just look around and like see what things I could get. And it's amazing what you can get secondhand. You can do the same thing on eBay or Craigslist or asking friends. I think it's so much more eco-friendly because you know what a lot of people do is they throw this stuff out or they keep it in their garage and never use it. So you're getting gadgets from friends and family or someone else is just such a wonderful way to be more eco-friendly, but also to save money, especially if you get it for free. And Lamont just said sweet potato ginger soup. Oh my gosh. The problem with YouTube Live is it doesn't save any of this conversation. So I can't go back. I'll have to like go and listen to all of the types of soups that I've been just sharing thanks to all of you guys today. Because this conversation won't be recorded. That's why I read every comment out loud, because otherwise your comments will just go into the universe and never be seen again. Pretty sad. Jason, see? I would say that it's not necessarily making a comeback. I do use this pretty frequently. So Jason Robel is here, who I was just mentioning, gave me this. He's in a wacky mood, apparently. Jason, I'm giving you multiple shout outs today. I was talking about how you gave me one of my ceramic knives. Maybe that's the only shout out I gave you so far, but you had them mentioned multiple times today, and I'm grateful for this. I use this anytime I make a soup. Here's the reason why. I do have a wonderful high-speed blender, which Jason also gave me. Jason actually gave me this as well. We love to joke, or he likes to joke that he's furnished a lot of the things in my home as gifts. He's a phenomenal gift giver. We've known each other for, what is it now, 5 years that we've been very close, and through birthdays and Christmas and just random occurrences, Jason has given me a lot of great gifts, and it's just so funny, like everything I'm talking about right now is from Jason. But anyway, so the high-speed blender is phenomenal for all sorts of things, not just smoothies, but soups. But my one concern is that it's plastic, so when you put hot soup in here, there's a chance of chemicals leaching out. Now, the immersion blender is also partially plastic, but it's a different type of plastic as far as I can tell, and it's not, the soup isn't sitting in it, you're just putting it in. I'll show you guys how this works. 52 seconds! Wow, 20 minutes flew by. Okay, so let me move things out of the way to get ready for the last step of this soup making process. Put my computer over here. I meant to clean up the kitchen, but that didn't really happen. Let's see. Move everything aside. This is the challenge of having a small kitchen. Okay. I'm excited. I get to try this soup. You guys get to be part of this whole experience. 35 minutes just flies by. Let me read comments in the meantime. Wow, message retracted. I didn't know that you could do that. So Lamont just said, you and Jason are two of the reasons that I became vegan. I'm very honored to hear that. Anytime I hear that from anyone, I just feel like that is the reason that I do what I do. So thank you for having me as part of your journey and, you know, just being in this whole world. All right, so the carrots, the ginger, and the garlic have finished, and I need to figure out where to put this. Okay, so I rinsed off the, okay, wait a second. I don't know if I need to drain the carrots. Let's see. Let's go back to the original recipe here. Oh, okay. I don't need to drain them. So this is so simple. Let me move the camera so that you can see this process. So the carrots, the ginger, and the garlic are in boiling water, and all you do is add in the cashews. I did not measure my cashews, so let's just do that real quick. It calls for 3/4 of a cup, which is exactly how much I have. This is what happens when you cook a lot. This is such an awkward angle. When you cook a lot, you can measure things with your eyes. It's very satisfying. So, adding in the soaked cashews right into the pot. And now we get to see the immersion blender work its magic. Da 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 da! Alright, so you basically just blend it until you get the consistency that you want. I will say that using a high-speed blender helps get it to a smoother consistency. Oh, okay. It needs some more flavor though. So, it's still a little chunky, but I don't mind. What do I want to add to this? I think I'm going to add some salt and maybe some garlic powder. Believe it or not, it doesn't have enough. I also kind of even want to add some ginger powder in here, which just gives it more of a concentrated flavor. And add some garlic powder in there. And maybe, what else? Some salt. This probably would have worked really well with a veggie broth. And to be fair, I did not follow the exact original recipe. It's like one of those Salt Bae moments. It's anybody else do that? Have you seen the Salt Bay meme? I don't think of it that often, but when you hold up your fingers really high and you sprinkle salt, that's basically what's happening right there. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, this would have been really good with veggie broth because it would have added more flavor, like the salty flavor to it. And if I used the onion, which I don't have right now, and celery, I bet that would have added some great flavor to it. Needs a little bit more. But I will say that this is really one of those recipes that you just kind of make and taste as you go along and just see how you want it to taste. I mean, this would probably be really good with some cumin. It'd be good with some cayenne. Maybe I'll add some of that in there. Some organic cayenne. Not too much. And now that I can see the soup, I think this maybe could be 4 servings, but this, let's be honest, this is probably 2 servings, right? It's all relative. What else you're eating, all of that. Okay, so let me put this away real quick. And oh, you know what else I want to do? I got some cilantro in my Farm Fresh to You box. That would be so good in this too. I like to keep my cilantro in water in the fridge to keep it fresh. So I'm going to pour this into a bowl, and I will get to your questions in just a moment. My spoon has disappeared. I'm going to use my ladle to make this much easier and cleaner, hopefully. And I have to scoop out the spoon. The spoon is like fell into the soup, and the soup is really hot. Oh my god. Live video, you guys. These are the things that happen. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna need another spoon. So, oh, okay. Pour the soup in here. Now Evie wants some, and I completely forgot to save some carrots for her. But this is not something I will share. Yeah, I mean, let's see. So this is a pretty good size bowl, and I think this is about half the soup. So I would say 2 servings makes more sense. So I'm going to add in some fresh cilantro as a garnish, which will make it look pretty and also make it taste really good. I love cilantro. Pretty, huh? All right. I'll probably be adding in some more seasonings to this as it goes along, but this is wonderful, such a simple recipe. Once this video is up on the channel, you can see in the description field I'll have a link to the recipe that inspired this, to my friend Rachel who inspired this, and I will link to different gadgets and stuff that I've used today and talked about today. And lastly, before I go, let me check out some comments. Who do we have here? Ooh, truffle salt would have been so good. Okay, Brooke says, shouldn't be watching at midnight because it's making me hungry. Berta, thank you so much for being here. Oh, Robin made a broccoli vegan cheddar soup using butternut squash. Could you please send me the recipe to that? That sounds amazing. Julie said, the live feed is frozen. Oh no, I hope it didn't freeze for everybody. Isabel said, other than soup, what's an immersion blender good for? Good question. I don't know. I've only used it for soup before. And Brooke said, I know I'm not Whitney, but I use my immersion blender to puree my dog's veggies. Mashed potatoes. Thank you for that, because I make mashed potatoes semi-regularly, and I don't have a masher. I never thought to use my immersion blender before. Thank you. I learned something from you today. Well, that's it. It's been 45 minutes. Jessica just chimed in to say that smoothies can also be made using your immersion blender. I'll have to try that as well, although I will say having a high-speed blend tech makes smoothies pretty simple. But you know, it's fun to try new things. So this is my soup. Thanks for being here today for this live feed. Again, I have a live video on this channel every Friday around 5 p.m. So I would love to see you there. Those are super short, so if this is a long video for you, those are only like 5 minutes long, or at least that's what I aim for. And sometimes I just do impromptu videos like this, so I'd love to have you part of this again. Come back, leave comments, be part of the community, send me messages if you ever have any private questions or requests. I'm on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, on Twitter, on several YouTube channels. I also have a newsletter. You might want to sign up for that because I'm going to be doing regular weekly emails for the first time in a while, so I'd love for you to stay tuned and just keep in the loop with everything there. Everything will be listed down below in the YouTube description once this video is live on the channel. And thank you once again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. I know some people, it's late for you there, so wherever you are in the world, I'm wishing you the very best, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye, everyone.